Welcome back to the workshop, Handyman. We're in the shop again today. We're working in what we'll call the mechanics side of the shop. We've got another little project to drop off here to me. As you know, we work on a little bit of everything, whatever they drop off. So what do we got in the shop? We've got two pieces of equipment over here. Hopefully we'll work on those a little bit later on. We got a big old backpack blower. Got it running. It needs new air filter on that one. We should be good on that. This one here had a couple little issues. I think all I'm waiting on that one is the air filter too. So yeah, those things are a real beast to work on. I'm glad I didn't have to go too deep into it, but it fired right up. So we've got those two pretty much done on the bench. And today we're going to be working on this guy. Let's see if this thing is salvageable or not. It looks like an old Makita saw. There was a bunch of them about like this from way back. I think I had two of them back in the 80s. This was looks like a 507F. It's a 7 1/4 circular saw. The only thing kind of strange about this one, it does have a little trigger here on and off. I'm not really sure. I've not seen one with that on there. And the trigger almost feels like a variable speed trigger instead. Well, there it's clicking. I think this trigger is messed up. We're going to troubleshoot that real quick. That might have fixed it. I just played with that a little bit, and I think that's all that's probably wrong with it. Let's go ahead and take a look at it and see if we can make that thing fire on up. And it could be just as simple as that. Wouldn't be the first time we messed with it like that, and then we'll have to find us probably a new switch if that's the case. So that's not really a bad job. We'll go ahead and plug this in, and let's see if we can make it work. Sure enough, that's all it was. I don't know what that thing is, though. Well, that's not much of a video. That's all it took on that was a little playing with the switch. We're going to go see if we can find us a switch on online someplace for this model, and we'll swap out the switch on it. See if that doesn't keep it from messing back up again. It feels a little bit flaky, so we'll do that and maybe go through this switch when I get it in. We'll see you in just a little bit. Okay, well, it's been a couple of days and since we took the first part of this thing, and I talked to the customer, and he decided he wanted to go ahead and get the switch replaced. So we did order that, and we got it sitting on the bench. And well, since then I've got those two other things. We've got what, a weed eater, what, Echo, and a DeWalt string trimmer. We may do a little something on those, but today we're going to concentrate on getting that cord or the switch replaced on the Makita. The other progress in the shop, I think, was those two pieces of equipment have been taken back to the customers. So we'll go ahead and clean this bench off a little bit so I can get down to the saw. We'll see if we can get that switch replaced. So let me get this place cleaned back off so we have some work surface. Okay, we got the bench cleaned off there. We're going to go ahead and check this out. We'll get the cover off of these. We're just going to pop these couple screws out. There's like 4 of them there. I think that'll drop that out. We'll tip it over like that, and then we'll see. This should pop right off of here. That's what we're hoping for. I think that was all of them, unless I didn't get them out. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't believe that one needed to go. And that one, nope, shouldn't be. We're going to go ahead here. Why is it not just popping right apart here? Let's see. There we go. Take that and set that aside. And I like to keep my little container here. Throw those down in there so I don't lose them. And we turn this up. And the first thing I'm going to do is make sure that the switch actually looks about like the one that I've received in the thing. Let's see, this one is, I don't know if that really is going to, it says it's going to fit, so that's what we're going to go off of. And we hopefully will have it so it does. So we'll cut that one open, see what we got in here. All right, now the only thing I do know about these switches is make sure that the numbers on the bottom of it, I don't know if you can see this or not. Let's see if I can get it. Yeah, I think that's got it. But you'll see the numbers. The switches are across this direction and across this direction. Make sure you always check that, because a lot of times you'll end up with the one that comes out of this equipment either won't have that on there, like this one, or they'll be opposite. They'll go from end to end instead of side to side. So what we're going to do is make sure this one actually looks like it is end to end. So that's saying that it's, when you pull that trigger, it's closing the contacts from this point to this point, or this point to this point, this point to this point, and you got to figure out, make sure that this one is doing exactly the same thing. You don't want to have your hots and your neutrals clashing with each other. So we'll take this switch apart, and that's just a matter of a little screw on there, a little Phillips screwdriver, and we'll investigate that. We'll do a quick ohms check on it probably to make sure that we've got it correct. And as long as we got the blacks and the whites, I think we'll be all right with it. There's nothing real too technical on that part of it. So we'll do that. We'll speed this up a little bit. Okay, so easy way to check these. I'm going to go ahead and pull our meter over here. Let's see if we can get this in the picture just to make sure that we're good. We can set this up in ohms, and we'll take our two cables, and this thing kind of works, so it makes it a little easier. We can try. As you see, it's there. You test your meter, that's open loop, and that's got continuity. So we go from here to here, and you push the trigger, nothing happens. So we try it this direction, from here to here. And so our contacts are going from what was the black wire to a white wire. Okay, and on this one, we go the same thing, here to here, and we pull the trigger. And as I would suspect, this one works exactly the opposite. So we need to extend our wires. Instead of having both blacks on here, we're going to have a black here and a black here, and a white here and a white here, because it's going to be jumping across the contacts this direction instead of this direction. So always need to make sure of that. I run across that very often. The replacements are not exactly the same. So now we'll have to figure out if I can get enough wire to do that. So that's what we'll start on now. Let me play with it a little bit and stretch these wires around. Okay, this one here, didn't find any major problems with that. Had plenty of extra wire down in here. I don't know if you can see that real well, but just make sure when we got all that together, we're going to tuck the wires back in, reroute them a little bit. Switch fits right back on top of that. So now we'll go ahead and put the cover back on it. We got our black and a white up here, black and a white down here, a little opposite of the other. But we'll put the cover back on. That'll be a simple little project. Still don't really know what this other switch does. It's got a couple of little pink wires in there, almost like it's a light switch or something. I think there is actually. As I'm looking at it a little closer, it looks like there's almost a light down in there. So not sure exactly what that is. Maybe it is a light for that. It's not working. I don't care. We're going to ignore it either way. So we'll go ahead and put the cover on, just making sure we don't pinch any wires when we do it. And we'll put some screws back to it, and we should be good to go. Okay, we put the screws back into that. Now to test it out, we'll go ahead and plug her up and see if we've got a saw that works. And I think that total time on that was probably only maybe 10 minutes to completely change out the switch. Pretty quick little project. We'll go ahead and turn this one back over to them and call that another finished project. Appreciate you watching. Please click that little subscribe button. I really appreciate subscribers. And hit the like button, send me comments. We'll go on to the next project. Looks like we'll probably do us either a weed eater or a pole saw next. So let's go ahead and wrap this one up. We'll catch you on the next one. Thanks a bunch.